Hey, first grade friends, how are you? So every year at the beginning of the year for first grade, I like to do an author study on Kevin Henkes. He's one of my favorite authors, and he's also an illustrator. So for the next few weeks, every story time, I'll read a book by the same author, Kevin Henkes. Here's the first one, Wemberly Worried by Kevin Henkes. He's also the illustrator. He loves to use little mice as his characters. And I picked this one to go first because it's about the beginning of school. And Wemberly worries because it's a worry starting something new, right? Even when you've been to school before, and this time we're doing online, it's a little bit different. But I think you're going to like the story. Wemberly worried about everything. Big things. Here she is. She says, I just wanted to make sure you're still there. She's shining a flashlight right in her parents' face. Little things, like spilling her juice, and things in between. Here she is in the tub. She's saying, Mama, am I going to shrink? Wemberly worried in the morning. She worried at night, and she worried throughout the day. You worry too much, said her mother. When you worry, I worry, said her father. Worry, 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 said her grandmother. Too much worry. Now her grandmother has a shirt that says, go with the flow. Have you ever heard that before? Go with the flow means don't worry. Just see what happens. At home, Wemberly worried about the tree in her front yard. What if it falls on our house and the crack in the living room wall? What if it gets bigger and something comes out of it? And the noise the radiators made. Sss, is there a snake inside? Some of you might have these in your home. It's instead of a heater, it heats the room up. At the playground, Wemberly worried about the chains on the swings and the bolts on the slides and the bars in the jungle gym. Too rusty, too loose, too high. What if they break? And always she worried about her doll, Petal. Shouldn't Petal have a car seat too? Petal's lost forever. I found her. And here's Petal's in the washing machine. I'll wait for you forever, Petal. Don't worry, said her mother. Don't worry, said her father. But Wemberly worried. She worried and worried and worried. When Wemberly was especially worried, she rubbed Petal's ears like this. Wemberly worried that if she didn't stop worrying, Petal would have no ears left at all. Do you have a special animal that you like to sleep with or play with? I did. When I was her age, I had a lamb and a bear. On her birthday, Wemberly worried that no one would come to her party. See, said her mother, there's nothing to worry about. But then Wemberly worried there wouldn't be enough cake. He's saying, this is the best present ever. I wish it was my birthday today. Now, one thing about Kevin Henkes is he uses some characters from different books in his other books, and so you'll see different characters show up again and again. So some of these characters here you might meet in another book. On Halloween, Wemberly worried there'd be too many butterflies in the neighborhood parade. See, said her father, there's nothing to worry about. But then Wemberly worried because she was the only one. Now, I was saying that you might see some other characters. I want you to remember this character especially because you might see that character again. You worry too much, said her mother. When you worry, I worry, said her father. Worry, 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 said her grandmother. Too much worry. And now she's pointing at this picture that says, take it as it comes, which means don't worry. Soon Wemberly had a new worry, school. Wemberly worried about the start of school more than anything she'd ever worried about before. And here it says, new morning school, starting soon. By the time the first day arrived, Wemberly had a long list of worries. What if no one else has spots? What if no one else has stripes? What if no one else brings a doll? What if the teacher's mean? What if the room smells bad? What if they make fun of my name? What if I can't find the bathroom? What if I hate the snack? What if I have to cry? Lots of things to worry about. When you worry, it means you're not really sure what's going to happen. Don't worry, said her mother. Don't worry, said her father. But Wemberly worried. She worried and worried and worried. Look at her face and look at her eyes. Does she look worried to you? This is the same picture that's on the cover. She worried all the way there. Her parents look worried also, and her grandmother is saying, have fun. Do you see how her parents look worried? Why do you think her parents would be worried? I think maybe it's because you really want your kids to have a good time and be happy, and when she's worried, it makes them worried. While Wemberly's parents talked to the teacher, Mrs. Peachum, Wemberly looked around the room. Then Mrs. Peachum said, Wemberly, there's someone I think you should meet. Her name was Jewel. She was standing by herself. She was wearing stripes, and she was holding a doll. Look at all the kids. Can you find who she's talking about? There she is in the corner. Does she kind of remind you of Wemberly? She looks a little bit worried too, doesn't she? At first, Wemberly and Jewel just peeked at each other. This is Petal, said Wemberly. This is Niblet, said Jewel. Her little toy is a cat. Petal waved and Niblet waved back. Hi, said Petal. Hi, said Niblet. I rub her ears, said Wemberly. I rub her nose, said Jewel. Do you see that they already have a few things in common? What do you think is going to happen? Throughout the morning, Wemberly and Jewel sat side by side and played together whenever they could. Petal and Niblet sat side by side too. Wemberly worried, but no more than usual, and sometimes even less. Before Wemberly knew it, it was time to go home. Does it look like she ended up having fun? Do you think she made a new friend? Maybe she's not quite so worried. Come back tomorrow, called Mrs. Peachum as the students walked out the door. Wemberly turned and smiled and waved. I will, she said. Don't worry. So she made a new friend, and she realized it was going to be okay. And then she wasn't worried anymore. And now her parents are happy. Why do you think her parents are so happy? Maybe it's because when she came home from school, she was feeling better, and that made her parents really, really happy too. Because parents want their kids to be happy, right? They do. And that's the end. I picked it because, like I said before, it's about the beginning of school, and Wemberly's worried. And, even though we're doing online school, this is a new thing, and you might have been worried a little bit too. So after you listen to the story, I'd like you to either draw a picture or just tell me something that makes you feel worried, or what you do when you feel worried to feel better. All right, friends, happy reading.